Hey everybody, it's Courtney with Cusp Baby Tarot, and in today's reading we are getting messages from your higher self. So this is a standard pick a card reading. If you've never done one before, basically you take a look at all three piles. You can make a choice based on the sparkly little diamonds that are on top of them. If you're drawn to a particular color, you can just pick a card based on its energy or anything else. There's really no right or wrong way. So timestamps are below, or you can fast forward to the times that are under the pile and go directly to your reading. This is a general reading, so of course you take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If you don't get a message or you don't resonate with one of the piles that you choose, of course you can always try a different pile, or you can listen to all three and see what messages are for you. So go ahead and pause the video, take your time, decide which pile you like, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, pile one, and this is your reading for messages from your higher self. And I gotta tell you, before I get started with the cards, I was sitting here and I heard a message that I want to share with you. I feel that your higher self wants you to hear these words. Rest your weary head. You think too much, my love. Begin trusting that what we have for you is for your good. Nobody does this alone. We are here for you. Be thankful. Be grateful. Take time to process the losses and celebrate the victories. This is all for your highest good. Whew. So, pile one, if that message resonated with you, then you are definitely in the right place. Because, as you can see, we start off here with the Five of Inspiration. And, I am using the Muse Tarot. So it's slightly different than what you'll see in a traditional tarot. So the Five of Inspiration is similar to the Five of Wands in a traditional deck. And the energy from this card, the message is you've been experiencing a lot of internal struggle. There's possibly some resentment or jealousy towards those that you work with or live with or are in some way in the same field, or you're in the same circles is what I'm hearing. And there's a competitiveness that has gone from being something that served to motivate you to something that is, the word I'm hearing is corrupted. Now, that sounds really harsh, but understand that the message here is that your higher self is acknowledging that something is off. Something that used to be fairly playful and benign has started to become this green-eyed monster. You know, the green-eyed monster that people refer to when they speak of jealousy or envy. And I don't feel that that is in alignment with who you really are. The perception is that you are in competition with others, when in reality, you are only in competition with yourself. So your higher self wants you to acknowledge that this type of competition, if taken too far, can alter the course that you're on. So let's look at what's going on down here. And it really all just lines up. We have 10 of emotions, 10 of cups, 3 of voices, 3 of swords, 3 of materials, 3 of pentacles, and the chariot. So my attention is immediately drawn to this Three of Pentacles with these three women that have come together to collaborate and make something, this braid. Their energy is intertwined and they are creating something beautiful with all these roses with their vibrant colors. And there's just this vibration from this card of setting aside our individuality and coming together with a group of people to harness the energy that comes from more than one. And because of the Five of Inspiration and because of the message that I received at the beginning, I feel like your higher self really wants this to be your focus. It really wants your focus to be on collaborating and cooperating and getting along. I'm hearing, pile one, that some of you are very stubborn and some of you have a tendency to see things as very like black and white, your way or the highway, you're right, everybody else is wrong. And I'm not saying that in a judgmental way, and neither is your higher self. But that's what this reading is about. It is about receiving messages from our higher self, something that we already know, we already resonate with when we hear it. But maybe we haven't had the desire to really dig into that and see what that's about. Where is all that coming from? What is this need to be right and this need to be independent to a fault? And I believe that comes back to the Three of Voices. It usually does. Three of Voices, similar to the Three of Swords, which is this energy of disappointment and of letdown. And I believe that some of you have in the past been very cooperative and been very collaborative with others, and unfortunately something has happened that has caused you to resent that type of energy because, hang on, yeah. So what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is like a group project, or even going back into like high school or middle school. Like this is something from way back when, you know, you participated and you gave it your all, and others didn't try as hard, or they didn't contribute as much as you contributed, and they got the same grade as you, and that just wasn't fair to you. Or somebody at work taking credit for something that you put your time and energy into, and then that person went and took credit for it. So something along those lines energetically that happened that just repelled you from ever wanting to participate in that group atmosphere ever again. It was a betrayal. It was a betrayal of your trust. Oh, wow, that's a lot of information. Okay, so I'm hearing that the pressure that has been put on you to succeed, to be successful, to make good grades, to do the right thing all the time. Now, this could come from a parental or a guardian type figure, or it may be that you put that kind of pressure on yourself for whatever reason. But once you experienced this betrayal, and once you put your effort into something and didn't receive the credit and the accolades that you felt that you deserved, you just decided from now on, I'm going at this alone. And your higher self is saying, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with working independently, and there's nothing wrong with doing things by yourself. that, builds character. It's a strong personality trait. It's something that a lot of people admire in you, is your ability to just pick up and take off with whatever challenge or problem is put in your way. You just do what needs to be done. And while that is admirable in moderation, the message is that this is a part of yourself that is in your shadow, especially with all this darkness. This is a shadow aspect of yourself that your higher self wants you to start focusing on, wants you to start addressing, because it is a blockage to something that you are trying to accomplish. I'm hearing that you are blocked. I'm hearing, for all of your independence and all of your willpower and all of your strength and your intelligence and everything else, right now you are in a place where you feel blocked. Like you just do not understand why you're back in this place of working so hard and not getting the credit that you deserve. Pile 1. Oh, I just got chills. Pile 1. Other people do not determine your worth. And other people can't take away from what you have accomplished. You did the work. And you know that you are the one who contributed. You are the one who created. You are the one who put in the blood, sweat, and tears. You know that. So your higher self is asking, why is it so important that other people praise you? Now, don't get me wrong. Just speaking as a fellow human, when we work hard and we sacrifice, it feels really good for other people to appreciate that. And we do deserve that to an extent. But when we don't get it, we can't allow that to change the way we feel about ourselves or about our connection with others. And that lesson is something that, okay, how do I explain this? It's like the person or people who did this to you, I'm hearing they are now learning their lesson. They are now learning, they're reaping what they sowed. For example, they rode other people's coattails and, piggybacked on other people's work. And that will be revealed along their path. That will be revealed. So, take some comfort in knowing that Spirit saw what happened, and your higher self, your guides, your guardians, your ancestors, they were there. They saw what happened. And Spirit will always work to make things right, but will not always reveal the outcome to you. Just trust. Again, that message I received in the beginning, that trust that, and I'd have to tell myself this a lot, this is happening for me. This is not happening to me. Everything that happens is part of a greater plan or a greater purpose for our lives. So, that being said, we have the 10 of Emotions or 10 of Cups and the Chariot. Chariot, of course, being a major arcana, big life energy. And I love this depiction because it's this, and don't worry about whether you identify as masculine or feminine, male or female. It doesn't matter. This is just card energy. So, everything in this deck is depicted in the feminine, and that's okay because we all have both. But here there's this feminine with these lines on these horses, just the solar plexus is just beaming. We've got the star up here on the crown, and this is just an energy that is standing in their power, knows who they are, knows how powerful they are. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the horses go left or right, because the chariot is in control and will make adjustments and will bring things back that need to be reined in, and then will release when it needs to move forward. And I'm hearing, hang on. Sometimes the messages I receive come through very quickly, and I just need a second to filter it through my human brain with limited capacity. Okay. Oh, okay, that was loud. Let go of the reins. Yes, that was a very clear message. Let go of the reins. Now, that seems a little bit contradictory to the chariot energy that is controlling the way that the horses are moving. But if you see here, let me pick this up and show you. So if you see here, we've got these lines. They're not really solid. They're just, I'm hearing like lines of intention. You know, it's this metaphysical connection to the circumstances in your life, to the movement in your life, that it's not about controlling it with heavy reins, but just kind of keeping in touch with it. I actually was an equestrian when I was younger, and that is definitely something I can relate to. Is there, spirits bring into my mind, when my trainer would say, get out of their mouth, get out of their mouth, let their head go. And what that meant was I would hang on to the reins so tightly out of fear of losing control, that my horse couldn't move its head the way it needs to. A horse's head moves like this as it walks. And if I'm reining that head in, it's, controlling that energy, creating a lack of flow, a lack of forward movement with, which is the chariot. So the message from your higher self is you don't have to lose control, but you need to get out of of the situation's mouth. You need to let life do what life does as it ebbs and flows and moves. And just like the horse knew how to walk, trot, canter, gallop. And it could do all of those things without me having any control over it. But when we worked in cooperation, we work in cooperation. When I would work in cooperation with the horse, I would relax my reins. I'd let the horse have its head. I would move with the horse instead of trying to hold it back. Because honestly, pile one, that's the feeling that I get. The energetic feeling is just this control, this need to control, and other people just get in the way of that. And if I work with other people, then I have to take in their opinions and their, whew, deep breath. Rest your weary head. You think too much, my love. So, 10 of Cups. 10 of Emotions. There is a joy that comes from emotional fulfillment. Whether that is love or self-worth. Oh, that's what I'm hearing, especially with this. And what are we seeing here? It's just a beautiful pattern where there's this energy transfer from higher self, from spirit, and this dance What's the message here? Fulfillment comes when unity is achieved. That's interesting. I just feel like this is a goal. I feel like this is your higher self saying, this is our goal. This is where we want to be. We don't want to be judgmental and petty and critical and in competition with others. We don't want that. That doesn't feel natural to us. Yes, we've been disappointed. Our heart's been broken, and we may be hesitant to give others any type of control. But this is what it's about. This is about, reaching this total completion, this full cup. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So this full cup, you're operating out of half a cup. And sorry, it's my elbows on the table. But yeah, that you're operating. Okay, your higher self says you know this already. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. But, we talked earlier about feeling blocked. And that's because you're not being, even if you don't realize it on a conscious level, it very well could be subconscious. But this is not who you are authentically. This is your defense mechanism. This is what you have become to protect yourself and to stay in control. Control is a very big issue for you, Pile 1. And we all have to work through our shadows if we're going to get to this 10 of emotions energy. We can't allow what's happened in the past to continue to affect us now. And that's easier said than done. I know that as well as anybody. It's a pain in the ass. And it takes a lot of hard work, and you have to really look at yourself, which, is funny because we've got all these mirrors up here, and, we've got this one that's like dipping their toes in, and this one's like, I'm not going to look at it. And this one's like, nah, look at yourself from a very precarious place. This one is like, I'm better than the mirror, and this one has, zero interest. So Pile 1, I think it's time for you to look in the mirror and try and figure out why you struggle so much with relationships and connection and trust. And if you want to get to this 10 of emotions energy, you've got to step into this chariot energy of, I'm in control, I am powerful, I've got this, I'm making things happen, without it being distorted into something that is not serving your highest good. It's blocking you. It's blocking whatever it is that you're trying to do. All right, so let's take a look at some guidance cards. These are cards from the Divine Energy Oracle. Keep your commitments. Okay. Keep your commitments. And these are commitments to yourself, I'm hearing. Some of you have made plans to see a therapist. Some of you have made plans to confront things from the past. And some of you have thought 1,000 times to yourself that you're going to figure out what's going on and why you feel this way. And for whatever reason, whatever excuse, sorry, just telling the truth, whatever excuse you've been making not to do it, your higher self is saying, keep your commitments. Keep your commitments. The promises that you make to yourself, keep those. And, okay, there's Not all of you, but some of you. And I apologize if y'all can hear my dog snoring back in the background. He's just living his best life, snoozing away. But I digress. So keep your commitments. If you want other people to be solid, you want other people to respect your power. You don't want to be betrayed again. You want to step into this Ten of Cups energy. You want to stop being so petty and combative. And, these are just random, just words I'm hearing. They won't apply to everybody. Some of you are probably not very outwardly combative at all. Again, this could be a very internal struggle that we're talking about, but you'll know how to take this message. Because again, messages from our higher self are things that we already know on some, on our subconscious level. And, so when we hear them from somebody else, it connects. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yep. Didn't want to talk about that, but, thanks for calling me out, Court. Appreciate it. That kind of feeling. I have it all the time when I watch readings from other tarot readers, and I'm like, thanks. Appreciate you bringing that awful thing to my attention. I got to go work on that. And that's the key. Once something resonates and we know which direction to go, we have to keep our commitments. We have to commit to a path of healing. We have to commit to ourselves that we will not continue to operate in this negative energy, blocking ourselves and keeping us living in the past. So yeah, keep your commitments and imagine solutions. Well, there we go. You're already thinking about it. I can feel it. I can feel some of you kind of trying to sort it out yourself and kind of resonating, but kind of resisting, because you really... I keep wanting to say you don't see yourself that way, but that's not completely true. It's maybe more that you've been operating in this capacity for so long that it feels authentic, or it feels like the real you. And maybe this reading or some things that are going on in your life right now are kind of revealing that that's not the case, not so much. So imagine solutions, and all decks have their own meaning from the author, but I'm going intuitively on this, especially with this gold or yellow heart right here. And, the yellow is connected to the solar plexus, which is, here prevalent in the Chariot. And imagine solutions. I'm hearing guided meditation. I'm hearing going back and imagining whatever happened, and then imagining reacting in a different way that would not have brought you to the place that you're at right now. Also imagining solutions in the physical. Find that therapist. Find that spiritual leader. Find someone that you trust and that has a good head on their shoulders and is tuned into, is intuitive and connected to something higher than themselves, and talk about what's going on with you. I'm sure if you use your imagination, you'll come up with something. On the back of the deck, we had Muse of Emotions. And this to me is, the ebb and the flow of the ocean. The tides, they come in, they go out. And the Muse isn't bothered. the muse is pouring back into with their heart, with their love, with what they have inside of them. They're taking it in, and then they're putting it back out, which is in direct opposition to this energy of taking and holding on and not letting go. So, with this and the 10 of emotions, pile 1, I believe you can get there. I feel like you're on the precipice of a breakthrough. Just have to get real with ourselves sometimes, and that's your message from your higher self. It's time to get real about what's going on with you and where it came from, and it's time to find some solutions and commit to healing. Yeah. And get some friends. I feel like some of you are loners. Most people who like to control things are, independent, solitary personalities. And alone time is fabulous. As a person who is sensitive to other people's energy, alone time is essential for me to recharge. But, I also need other people to share energy with and to create energy with and exchange energy with. So maybe just put your toe in the water, and then eventually you'll be completely submerged in this beautiful water of emotion, where not only are you taking, but you're also giving out. Yeah. Okay, that's all I have for you, pile 1. I thank you for sticking with me and going through this. And I know not all of it was easy to hear, but I hope that if you're hearing this, that it helps you. And as always, if you ever have any questions or concerns, my contact information is below. And I don't know. I get a very determined feeling from this reading. I think that with as much as capable as you are, if you commit to this, you're going to find a solution. So be encouraged. Sorry, I know it got a little deep and it got a little dark and a little heavy, but that's what our higher self does. It just tells us the truth, and whether we like it or not. So, all right, pile 1, best of luck to you, and until next time, bye. Hello, pile 2. You picked the white diamond, and here is your message from your higher self. We're going to start with the devil. So, your higher self wants to talk to you today about your unhealthy attachments. Your higher self wants, and I'm hearing the words call you out on the things that you're holding on to that you know are not good for you, or things that you are allowing to control your path when you know already that what it is that you are here to accomplish, this habit, this person, this situation is deterring you from reaching your goal. That's what I'm hearing. So with the devil and unhealthy attachments, this could be anything. It could be an addiction. It could be addiction to a person, to a substance, to a habit, shopping, gambling, sex. But your higher self wants to draw attention to things that you know need to go. And I heard that very clearly. Very clearly. Pile 2, you need to let it go. Whatever it is, let it go. And I think here in this particular deck, which is the Muse Tarot, we have this woman who is connected to these strings. Her strings are being pulled. She's not really in control. She thinks she is, but she's really not. She's got these pieces of cloth wrapped around her wrist, almost as if it's bondage, but cloth bandages can be easily removed. You can see right here that there's a place you could tug on and easily remove that. But there's something about being controlled or not having to take control of the situation that you are choosing. Now, this could be for many, many reasons. It could be because of something in the past. It could be, you know, you're in a situation where you feel like this is what's best. But if your higher self is talking to you about it, it means you already know. Messages received from our higher self resonate with us because there's a part of us in our subconscious that already knows, but we are not listening. So that's what today's reading is about. Listening to our messages from our higher self, acknowledging the things that we already know on some level, and then figuring out what to do about it. So down here we have the Wheel. So that's 2 major arcana. So this is big life energy. This is something that your higher self wants you to realize is affecting your path. It is affecting your goal, where you're meant to be, what you're supposed to do. Something that you are holding on to is preventing you from reaching your highest level of achievement, enlightenment, growth, whatever it is. So the Wheel, the Knight of Inspiration, which is the wands in this deck, 5 of Inspiration, and 7 of Voices. And the voices in this deck are like the swords in the traditional tarot. All right. Higher self for pile number 2. What do you want them to know? Okay. So I'm being drawn over here to the Wheel as a reminder that everything changes, and that's okay. The moon goes through phases. We go through cycles. Sometimes we're up and we're on top of the world. Sometimes we're down, feeling defeated. Sometimes we don't know which way is up, but it all comes back around full circle. Possibilities. I just heard possibilities really loudly. Possibilities of turning this thing around. Okay, that makes sense. Possibilities of turning this thing around. We don't have to stay in bondage. We don't have to hang on to attachments. Now, when we change, and the Wheel is about change, but when we change, everything around us changes as well. We can't control what's happening on the exterior. We can't control what other people do or the situations that we find ourselves in. We don't have any control over that. The only thing we can control is ourselves. So if we want our situation to change, we want our relationship to change, we want our career to change, whatever we want, if we change ourselves, everything around us changes. That includes people and places and things that no longer serve us fall away, as they should. The Knight of Inspiration, higher self says you are a firecracker. Pile 2. You're a firecracker. You are a force to be reckoned with. So it's very unlike you to be so attached to something that you know isn't good for you. But I'm hearing that whatever it is actually makes you feel like you're on fire, like there's this passion, there's this drive. It's intoxicating. And that could be in a literal sense if this is something that is, maybe a substance abuse issue. But I'm really getting the sense from this that most of you in pile 2, I'm talking about a connection. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be family, friend, work. It's just some connection that you have that makes you feel like this night of inspiration energy. It just sets you on fire, sets you running, makes you feel free and wild and capable. And that's where the attachment comes in. You don't want to change. You don't want to do anything, because if you take away that attachment, you don't know what's going to happen, and that's scary. I know. Been there, done that. We are, as humans, we almost all of us go through some type of devil energy, being attached to something or someone that isn't good for us, but damn it feels good, I get that. Your higher self gets that. Your spirit understands that. But the message today is, do you understand? Do you understand what this attachment is doing to you and how it is preventing you from achieving? It's okay. I'm also hearing that it's blocking what is meant for you, because while you're hanging on and you're allowing somebody else to pull your strings, you're not really in control. You're not really allowing yourself to be free so that what is meant for you can come to you. You're blocking your own blessing, is what I'm hearing. And that's, the 5 of inspiration, which would be swords. This 5 of inspiration, it came up in pile 1 as well. I think all of us are kind of going through a introspective kind of period in our lives with everything that's been happening in the world and the amount of time that we've had to spend alone. If you're watching this at the time of it posting, 2021, 2020, it's been a heck of a ride. But a lot of us have had to spend a lot of time with ourselves, which we haven't had to do in a long time. So this 5 of inspiration, there's parts of yourself that you don't want to look at because they're not pretty. I get the feeling that others have confronted you over this, and that you defend this to the death. Like you just, or you just don't want to talk about it. And this connection is actually causing a lot of frustration, and it's challenging some of your other connections because you're choosing this over everything else. And your higher self wants you to be aware of that you are jeopardizing those good, positive connections that you have and that will come to you. You're jeopardizing those by continuing to defend this connection instead of facing yourself in the mirror and acknowledging what you already know, which is this is not good for you. And I'm hearing it's not going to change. This isn't one of those situations where, you know, if you dig your heels in and you're being, you know, you just keep trying, that things are going to change. No. Spirit, your higher self is saying, this isn't going to change. And while this night of inspiration energy, this fiery, passionate, fireworks energy that you get from this, you can get that elsewhere without this 5 of inspiration energy. You can have this without the fights and the pettiness and the conflict. It's possible. So with this 7 of voices, some of you, not all of you, some of you are, I'm hearing some of you are in connection to someone who is already taken. Some of you are in connection to someone that is not available to you. And while it's fun and it's exciting and turns your world upside down, some of you are not operating in integrity, and you are taking things that don't belong to you, or attempting to take things that don't belong to you. And can I just say this? Is it okay if I say this, Spirit? Okay, thank you. I will be nice. As someone who has found themselves in a similar situation before, very, very rarely will a person that's in a relationship leave that relationship for someone that they are stepping out with. In the rare occasion that they do, remember, that's how you got them. And what's to say somebody else can't come along and do the same thing? I'm not judging you. We're humans. Heart wants what it wants, you know? Attraction is a bitch, especially when there's chemistry and these fireworks y'all create. I get it. Very rarely does it work out in your favor as the outsider. And what that does internally is it causes us to defend things that are indefensible. You can't defend being in a connection with somebody who is already in a connection with somebody else. You can't. And that's this shadow down here in the 7 of voices. It's like, to the world, we're presenting one thing, but brewing underneath is the secret. And like I said, not everybody in pile 2 is doing this, but I feel like there's some. For others, what I feel is just not operating in integrity. Again, going back and defending this connection, defending this this thing that you're attached to. But underneath, you know that it's a darkness, it's a shadow, it's a part of yourself that at the end of the day, doesn't matter how you defend it. If you're not operating in integrity, then it's going to be really hard for the universe to work with you to get you what it is that you want, what it is you desire, because you already have something you're desiring that isn't part of the plan. So your higher self is saying, please, you know this. You know. And I think it's interesting because you got this shadow and then this light. And it's almost like your higher self is saying, please step out of the shadow. Please step into the light. Do the right thing. Let it go so that we can work with you to bring you healing and to teach you how to live without this attachment. And it could be painful for a short period of time, but then Spirit will come in and help you to heal, and then you don't know what's next. You don't know. The wheel tells us we don't know what's next. So it's about having faith in ourselves and in our spiritual team, and having faith that the universe would not allow us to suffer if we are walking the path that is intended for us. Now, there's always going to be pain and suffering. That's just being a human, you know. And for those that identify as starseeds, or if you have any connection to anything extraterrestrial or interdimensional, then you've probably felt a little uncomfortable here at times in this human existence on this good old planet Earth. Myself and others have had many conversations about that. And, sometimes I think that we hang on to these attachments because we're just not comfortable, and it brings us some sense of joy. Because we don't know what to do sometimes. But your higher self wants to talk to you about it. Advice. And this is from the Divine Energy Oracle. Seek hidden treasure. So what is it that you're not seeing? What is it that you're looking at from a surface level and you need to dig deeper? That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing the messages, dig deeper. Dig deeper to find out, why are you in this attachment? What are you getting from it? How can you see it for what it really is? Dig deep. Look for the truth. And when you do that, that's where you'll find your hidden treasure. You'll find your authentic self. You'll find your path. You'll find your purpose. And last card. Bust out of your cocoon. Yep. Some of us get so comfortable being who we are, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent, that change is just scary and uncomfortable and not something that we want to participate in. But it's time to bust out of your cocoon. Okay? You're not trapped. You only think you are. But what's really happening is that this situation is being used to transform you into your butterfly self. You're going from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And the butterfly doesn't happen, it's not a pretty process. It goes into the cocoon, and the caterpillar goes in the cocoon and pretty much turns into a pile of mush. And then it's rebuilt as, this beautiful winged creature. It's free. Also, with the devil and the attachment, same thing. The butterfly just beats its wings against the side of that cocoon until it's strong enough and it gets out. And I feel like that's the message for you today, is that you have been beating your wings against this situation for so long that you are finally at the point where your wings are strong enough that if you choose to, you can bust out of it and be free. Be free. Free to make a choice. Free to find what makes you happy. Free to allow the universe to bring in what is good for you and what is right for you, and what you deserve, honestly. Come on, let's be real. You don't deserve to be on the back burner. You don't deserve to be anybody's option. or second choice. You deserve to be free and to go out and see what happens. You know, allow for the unknown, allow for possibility. You don't know where it's going to take you, but I promise you it's always going to end somewhere that is for your highest good when you're walking in your truth and when you're walking in integrity. I'm hearing guard your bridge, you know? There's this beautiful light in here. Protect it. Don't give it away. Don't let just anybody cross that bridge. Don't allow situations or addictions to convince you to open this door to things that aren't worthy of you. You know, that's not to say that anybody's better than anybody else, but there are things that are worthy of your time and attention, and there are things that are not. Things that serve you and things that don't. Be picky about who you let in this door, what you let in this door. And it's time to start looking at ourselves and looking at the truth. Because you are already a firecracker. You are already full of passion and full of life. You don't need something or someone to create that for you. You're already there. It already exists in you. Or you wouldn't feel it when you're with others. It exists in you. And you can get that same feeling, that same emotion, that same thrill and exhilaration from something meant for you, just as much as you, and more than you can from something that's not meant for you. Because if something's not meant for you, you're just going to have to keep learning a painful lesson over and over and over and over again until you learn to be free, to free yourself of it. Cut these strings, take off that bandage, bust out of your cocoon. Trust the universe. Your higher self wants you to trust yourself enough to step out, shake off all of, I'm just seeing someone stepping out into the sunshine and like giving themselves a really good shake and, you know, toss their head back and feel the sun on their face and head back or head up, shoulders back, charging forward. I got this. You know, that's you, pile 2. You got this. No reason to hang on to all of that. All right. On the back of the deck, 7 of Inspiration, 7 of Wands. Yes. Protect what's yours. Keep pushing that darkness away. Keep seeking the light. Keep seeking higher self. Keep seeking higher purpose. But you can definitely, you can do this. Push back that darkness. Let the light in. Protect yourself. All right, that's all I have for you, pile 2. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you received something helpful from it. As always, if you ever have any questions or concerns, my contact information is in the comments. Please like the video, and, you know, always wouldn't mind a little subscribe or notification bell, you know, as they do in the YouTube universe. So, yeah. Kind of going off the rails here. Sorry about that. I appreciate your patience. All right, pile 2, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much. And as always, until next time, goodbye. Hello, pile 3. You chose the teal colored diamond, and this is your message from your higher self. Now, as I was preparing to start recording, I was a little confused about the cards, and I asked for clarity, and what I received was that in life, we all go through things that are seemingly unfair. And with the Justice card, the message from your higher self is, and I say this all the time, but it's because it's so true, everything that's happening is happening for you and not to you. It may feel unfair. It may feel like there's a feeling of you don't deserve this, or how did I get here? Why am I in this situation? But your higher self knows that this is something that is going to catapult you. Yes, that's the word I heard. Catapult you into your next level, into your next awakening, if you will. Now, of course, with the Justice card, it's really hard not to talk about legal matters. Some of you in pile 3 may be going through a legal battle. Could be, I don't feel like it's something criminally related. I feel like it's something family related, like custody or divorce, or something having to do with the division of assets, something like that. And as of right now, I feel like maybe some of you have found yourself kind of on the shit end of the stick. It's like you're in the right, or you believe you're in the right, and it doesn't make sense why this thing keeps being dragged out, or like, how is the other side convincing people that that the truth is something other than what your version of it is? So yeah, so that's what your higher self wants to talk to you about, and wants you to hear that we all have to go through things that seem unfair and unjust. But just remember, at the end of the day, everything is working for your highest good. There is a plan, there is a purpose. And as difficult as that may be to hear and to accept, especially when we're in the middle of the muck, it's absolutely true. And again, whatever you're going through, pile 3, and this could be, a job review, or not getting along with somebody, or going through a breakup, and that person's like talking mad junk about you, and you feel like you have to defend yourself and nobody's listening. Or maybe it's just something where you've been made to look bad in a situation, and that's whatever's being said isn't the truth. I just feel like there's just this sense of needing to defend oneself against inaccuracy and allegations that just don't ring true to the situation. So that's what we're going to talk about. And of course, when we come down to get more information, we've got the Strength card, 10 of Emotions, which in this deck is similar to, of course, Cups. The Muse of Voices, and voices are like swords, and then 6 of Materials, similar to Pentacles. And I got to tell you, pile 3, all of this looks really, really good. It really looks like, your higher self just wants you to know that everything's going to be okay. It's all going to work out. The Justice card talks about exactly that, justice. It's not about fair. It's not about right or wrong. It's about justice. Things that need to be made right will be made right. And those that need to be held accountable will be held accountable, is what I'm feeling. The Strength card is extremely obvious in its message, which is you have an internal capacity to power through this. But it is not the energy of a wrecking ball, or, you're not bowling anybody over. You're not bullying your way through this. Your strength is going to come from maintaining your composure. And I'm also hearing for some of you, it's going to come from being underestimated. You know, we've got this tiny little woman sitting on top of this big old lion. And in the book that comes with the deck, it's really, really kind of cute the way that they tell the story, that the lion talks about how funny everything must appear to people on the outside looking in. And the lion says something to the effect of, well, they don't know you like I know you. The lion recognizes that though small, she is mighty. And through her perseverance and her patience, and through, I'm hearing her kindness, you know, she is able to tame the beast. She has this inner strength, you know, with the pyramid in the back and the sun/moon. It could be either. It's just, I feel like there's this ancient, ancestral bloodline type of strength, like the men and women of your family. Most of them, or some of them that you're close to, or that you can recall hearing stories about, have overcome so many things. And they didn't do it with violence, and they didn't do it with force. They did it through that calm, collected strength that is represented in this card. With the Ten of Emotions, I mean, this is a card of everything coming to completion and being fulfilled emotionally. You know, we've got this dance down here it's a synchronized dance, and everything's coming together to create this energy, which creates this this beautiful mandala type display, if you will. And I feel like for you, pile 3, this is you coming out of this situation completely satisfied with the results, regardless of what they are. I'm not saying that everything's going to work out in your favor. I don't know that. Your higher self has an opinion about it, but at the end of the day, you know, sometimes the things that happen to us are out of our control and they feel unfair. And the only thing that we can control is our reaction to it. And that's the message that you need to hear today, is that no matter what happens, you maintain your strength and your dignity. And no matter what happens, you're going to be okay with the result. With the Muse of Voices, this is this duplicitous dance. It's this freedom. It is mirroring, giving and receiving. It's balance of the mind, you know, balance in your voice, in your expression of yourself. And I feel like you're being encouraged, again, no matter what happens, no matter how this all plays out, it's going to be really important that you stay balanced and that you maintain your composure. I know it's really easy to say, not always easy to do, but it will be key and instrumental to maintaining your integrity. I'm also hearing that defending yourself is futile. There's no point. That doesn't mean that you don't stand up for yourself and express your truth and represent, you know, what you believe to be the truth. It just means that defending yourself for the sake of defending yourself is pointless. People have, you know, in this scenario, they've made up their minds about things. And it's not your job to try and change their mind. It is your job to maintain your balance. It is your job to maintain just to control your reaction. So defending yourself, it's a waste of energy, pretty much. So with the Six of Materials, you know, this card is one of the things it's called is Let It Rain Roses. And again, I think that your higher self really wants you to believe that everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to work out exactly as it should. And in this Six of Materials energy, I think that in addition to justice, that there will be some vindication, especially if you're dealing, like I said in the beginning, if this is a legal matter about the distribution of assets or child support or something like that, where there's something monetary involved, or like a home or something like that, then I do see you receiving your fair share of that. That being said, it is also a reminder to remember when we are blessed that we should in turn bless others, that we should be charitable and not be greedy. So, you know, there could be a compromise that needs to happen here where, you know, that I can see Muse of Voices could have some compromise energy to it, because both parties are equally, things are equally distributed between the two in this card. And then it's funny, it's got this little tiny dude down here in the corner. It's like little tiny person that doesn't really matter. It's kind of insignificant, almost overlooked, if you're not in the you know, paying attention to the details. So whoever or whatever is trying to come against you, I feel it's so insignificant. And in the end, even if you have to compromise and not get everything that you want, the result will be that you're okay with it, you know, because, you know, first of all, whatever you're going through is coming to completion. Thank God, right? Or goddess or whatever. It's coming to completion. You've been strong, and you've hung in there, and you've taken your licks. But you know, and of course with her being on top of the line, it's like you rose above the challenge. You rose above whatever they were trying to do to you. So even if a compromise has to come about, you're still going to get plenty of what's coming to you, if not more, and you're going to feel good about it. So pile 3, your message from your higher self is very, I feel it's very positive. You know, we've got and on the back of the deck we have the, oops, you know what? This whole time I've been recording, I don't even have my light on. I don't even know how you've seen it. Please forgive me. Is that better? Can you see? Justice, Strength, Ten of Emotions, Muse of Voices, Six of Materials. Oh, Jiminy Cricket. Can't believe I did that. Halfway through your reading, I just now turned the light on. I'm so sorry. That's funny. So as soon as I start saying that, it's like, yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be like. You know, this first half of whatever the situation is that you're going through, it's like you're in the dark, and then boom, all of a sudden there's light and everything is clearer, and you can see the details. You can see the, you know, the things that matter and the things that don't. So I think that's pretty, okay. Thanks, Spirit. So yeah, on the back of the deck, we've got the Three of Emotions. And I'm sure this has been quite the roller coaster ride for you, pile 3. Anytime you're dealing with a situation that feels like a personal attack, it's going to make you feel all kinds of things. But, you know, you're not in this alone, is what I'm feeling. The universe and your guides, guardians, ancestors, as well as your close friends and loved ones. You know, they're in this with you. You are not alone. Yeah, just there are people around you that you can lean on if you need to. And it's really important to not isolate yourself or go through this by yourself. It's really important. I think, I think your higher self wants you to remember that you're not alone, physically or spiritually. So reach out to people that love and care about you. You're not a burden. Your situation isn't a burden. You know, share with them what's going on, and lean on them. If they want to help, let them help. You know, this also could represent that, you know, at the end of all of this, it's just time to get together with your friends and celebrate the victory, because victory is coming to you. And all of this that you're going through, even though the outcome I feel will be favorable, or at least there will be justice. It may not be everything you want, but there will be some justice, and you will get what you want and a little bit more. This is all a lesson. That's what I want you to know. Well, that's what your higher self wants you to know. This is all a lesson. And if that resonates with you, it's because you already know it. That's what our higher self does. Our higher self, messages from higher self are really just confirming to us what we already knew on a subconscious level. So understand that this is all a lesson. It is teaching you to be calm, to focus on controlling yourself and your reaction, and not trying to control things exteriorly. Because it's that inner strength that matters. You know, raising hell and cussing at people and making an ass of yourself isn't going to result in a favorable outcome. You know, be blameless as much as possible, because that's how things are going to swing back into your favor. So from the Divine Energy Oracle, okay. We have accept disappointments gracefully. I mean, that's right in line with what we're talking about. Maybe you don't get everything that you want. Maybe things are delayed. Maybe you have to wait longer than you wanted to for a resolution. Or maybe the outcome that you really wanted isn't going to happen. But again, I do believe that you are going to get a lot of what you want, even if it's not everything that you want. So accepting the disappointment gracefully is going to have a huge impact on how you feel about yourself after all of this. If you can look back and say, you know what, that was a challenge. That was hard. That was rough. But I'm so proud of myself for maintaining my composure and not allowing outside influences to change my behavior or to affect who I am in my most authentic self. And correct your mistakes. So, pile 3. Let's get real. Let's be honest. Some of you have contributed. Not so, all of us. Humans, we all contribute to wherever we end up in whatever situation that we end up in. That's just the truth. There are very few things as adult humans that are beyond our control, to the extent that we can't control ourselves in the situation. Other people, we can't control them. They're going to do whatever they want. And sometimes we'll like it, sometimes we won't. But we can almost always control our reaction to it and how we respond to the energy that we receive. So if you are in a situation that you are being blamed or accused of some things, I feel like the message here is own your shit. Own it. Yep, I did that. Yep, I could have done better. I should have done better. If I'd have known better, I would have done better. whatever it is. I'm not saying beat yourself up or be ugly to yourself. Always be kind to yourself, especially about the mistakes that you make, because you wouldn't have made them if you'd known better. So, but if you know better, then, don't do that again, and own it and learn from it and keep it moving. Because I think that, especially with strength and Muse of Voices, integrity, and that this has been a theme throughout all three decks, is just, your integrity in a situation and your control in a situation is ultimately how others are going to react to you or to respond to you. And anybody who can stand up and say, you know what, yes, I made a mistake, and I'm doing everything I can to make it right and to not do it again. I think everybody respects that more than somebody who just digs their heels in and says, that wasn't my fault, I didn't do that, or I did that because you did this. That petty back and forth thing that takes place in a lot of legal situations or a lot of relationships is, well, you did this and that's the reason I did that, and blah, 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 blah. And it's circular. It's not going to stop until somebody says, you're right, I was wrong, I messed up, I apologize, and I won't do that again. Or I will do everything in my power to prevent myself from doing that again. I will learn my lesson. Everybody respects that. Anybody who doesn't respect that, well, then they're probably a narcissist, or I don't know. Something's wrong with them. They don't, okay. Getting off track. Sorry. Okay, back to your message from your higher self. All right, let's sum it up here. And yours is quick and easy because, again, I just feel like it's really good energy. I feel like whatever's happening, whatever you're going through, it's going to work out. Maybe not the way you expect, but it is going to work out. You just maintain your balance, maintain your composure, and know that you are strong enough to overcome this. And there's something coming your way as a result of this, whether it's directly or indirectly. You're going to get what you deserve in the best way possible. So if things don't work out the way you want, don't make an ass of yourself. Don't go on social media and blast people and start fights. Don't do that. Accept your disappointments gracefully. Understand, again, what is happening is not happening to you. It is happening for you, because your higher self, your guides, your guardians, your ancestors, everybody on your spiritual team that is working to bring you to your next elevation, they're all going to support you and see you through this disappointment. And at the end of the day, you'll learn something. You'll learn about your mistakes and you won't do it again. Maybe you found yourself in this situation because of a poor choice that was made. You trusted somebody you shouldn't have, or, had a baby with somebody who wasn't maybe the best connection for you, or a parent is doing some things and you maintain that relationship longer than you should have. I don't know. There is a plethora of reasons that you could be going through what you're going through, pile 3, but you get the point. We make bad choices sometimes because we don't have enough information, or we just haven't gotten there spiritually, emotionally, mentally to change our course. But your higher self wants you to know that you're going to be okay. You'll learn from this and you'll move on. And I think that the next thing, again, I heard the word catapult. I think this is going to catapult you to that next level where, anything's possible. That's what I'm hearing. Anything's possible. You'll move on from this situation being wiser and possibly with, financially better off. So awesome. I think this is great. So that's all I have for you, pile 3. I appreciate you watching this video. Of course, as we always say in the YouTube world, if you don't mind, click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the little notification bell to let you know when I've got more videos posted. And links are below with all my contact information. If you want to reach out, feel free. And I will be working on the next thing to bring to you. So as always, until next time, bye-bye.